All right, how's everyone doing? I am Rich CELENZA. Thanks for checking out my channel. So what I think I'm going to call this podcast is, I don't want to know what you don't want. And that may sound arrogant. I could care less. But the truth of the matter is, I think when it comes to helping people a lot of times, most people keep talking about what they don't want instead of what they do want. I'm just going to make this very simple. I'm not going to get into personal stuff, but if you know anything about me, I teach a Mastering Self-Confidence program. And I try to help men build confidence. And I try to also teach them how to live a great life affordably, at least at this point in time. I get into wardrobe, hygiene, fitness, a lot of different things. But I realized when trying to help people, most of the time when I'm having a discussion with them, and it doesn't even mean men I'm trying to help in that realm, or just I'm talking in life in general, they're always talking about what they don't want. And I get, you got to kind of give me maybe some idea what you don't want, but let's get to what do you want. I can't emphasize that enough in life. People are afraid to tell people what they truly want. It's always a problem. If you talk to a lot of people too, if you hear the conversation, it usually starts off, here's the problem. Here's the problem. All right, we got a problem. I get it. We do have problems, right? But if you're somebody who's always thinking about the problem, hit me with the solution. I know there's a problem. Life is all about problems. But I'll just give you an example. You may have even traveled. You may have even done this, because I've done it too. I'm not saying that I've done this stupid shit throughout most of my life. Always talking about the problem or telling you what I don't want instead of what I want. Say you're, like somebody's flying somewhere or traveling that I know because I used to travel so much. And they're like, Rich, where should I go for vacation? You give them your pointers. And then they're like, you know what? I don't want it to be cold. Okay. I don't want it to be, in this part of the country. Okay, I don't want to spend this much money. Okay, I don't want to, I don't even know how much time I'm going to be able to take. Okay, I don't even know how much work's going to give me as far as days off. It's all this type of shit. You know the answers to your own questions most of the time. So quit wasting other people's time trying to, I wouldn't say bait them, but you want them to decide for you. But you really deep down inside, you're almost setting up an argument. Because you want them to decide for you, and most people don't even know what they're talking about. They don't even know their own schedule a lot of times. My girlfriend, she books a lot of my travel, and a lot of my family members, and my daughters, and her kids, a lot of travel. And I tell them, perfect example, talking about the airplane and the flights. I don't want to know anything but the day you're leaving, where you want to go, what time you want to leave, what time you want to come back. That's all we need to know. I don't want to hear anything else. I don't care if you're not a morning person. I don't care if you can't handle a red eye. I don't care that you don't like flying out of certain, maybe airports. I'm sorry. You should tell me what airport you want to fly out of. That's a stupid one. Tell me how much, usually they use my points, but how much you're going to spend. I don't want to hear about how much you may or may not be able to spend. I don't want any of the bullshit. I just want to know if you're in Chicago, you want to come to Florida, okay? I want to know how many days, which airport do you want to fly out of? Usually I know. But anyways, how many days, when do you want to fly back? Give me some roundabout times. That's all I need. But if you talk to somebody, they will go on and on and on. Kind of like what I'm doing right now in this thing regarding that subject. But listen, if you're somebody out there, I keep calling it trim the fat man. If you want something, figure out how to get it. Get creative. If you want something that is beyond your means, quit bullshitting yourself and getting depressed about it. That's one of the things with a lot of dudes, again, how to live an extraordinary life affordably. Right now, you may not be able to afford a Ferrari. I don't know when you can, okay? And I don't care when you can or can't, truthfully, because it doesn't affect my life. I'd love to help you get a Ferrari, maybe change your mindset a little bit that you could definitely get one. I don't know when that is, but it's not cheap to buy a car like that. But maybe an older car or something else that could fill that void that you can afford right now. That does not mean you have to settle. But again, I don't want to hear about every other car you don't want either. I want to hear, okay, you want a Ferrari? Okay, what would be the next car you want to maybe get that you could afford? Or maybe let's try to get creative. Maybe can you get an older Ferrari and work on it maybe? Or maybe would you consider getting a Porsche just for the moment, older, something that's like, if you're only making 50 grand a year and you think you're going to go buy a Ferrari, which you can, most likely it's going to, you know what I mean, not work out very well for you, unless you just want to live in a car, basically. But my point being, again, is finding things you want and just not what you don't want is my point. And, you know, I just don't think a lot of people think about shit like that. It goes for a job. They'll tell you 10 different jobs that they don't want instead of the one they do. They'll talk about they want a certain lifestyle. And all they'll talk about is all the things that they hate or don't like or don't want. Instead of saying, all right, this is basically the lifestyle I want to lead. Most people lie to themselves. You know how many people I hear in my life, because I live in Florida and I live in California, saying, I need to live near the beach, or I got to be near the beach, that don't even live in a warm climate, that live nowhere near a beach. They will give me every excuse why they can't get to a beach, even for a vacation. It's almost impossible for them. They'll tell me every reason why they can't get there. And living near a beach, I'm telling you, once you get there, you're like, what the hell held me back? It's almost like finding the fountain of youth for a lot of people. This goes for a lot of things in life. Stop making things so goddamn complicated. Start somewhere, but you have to figure out what you want. Don't be afraid to say it. I think people want things, but they're afraid if they don't get them, they failed. You may fail. Who gives a shit? All right? I'm just telling you, you may want to go play an instrument, but you'll give me every excuse why you can't afford maybe to hire someone to teach you. You don't have the time. You can't afford to even buy the instrument. You'll give me every excuse. Just shut the hell up. If it's a guitar, go buy a used guitar. You may even have friends or family members that'll work out a payment plan for you. You could go on Craigslist, start teaching yourself. Teach yourself. I don't care if you go on YouTube. I don't care if you got to barter with somebody. Start somewhere. Stop with all the excuses. Stop giving all the information it's really useless. It's circle talk, too. I don't know if you ever heard of that before. My girlfriend taught me that. At the beginning of a conversation, even in your own head, you'll start somewhere, right? Or with somebody. You'll talk. You'll end up right back in the same position you were when you started the conversation, regardless if it's 5 minutes or a half an hour. No one learned anything. No one got anything accomplished. Again, what are you doing? Back to if you want something, you're going to have to go after it. No one, for the most part, is usually going to give you shit in your life, unless you have wealthy parents, maybe that, or wealthy family members, friends, maybe they're going to give you shit. But after a while, I may be wrong, they're going to stop giving you shit as time goes on, most likely. You got to figure your own shit out. Quit coming up with excuses, quit telling people what you don't want, and get to what you do want. And I don't know if it's a programming mechanism where we were afraid to say what we wanted. And you can see that going out, and I am going to wrap it up with this. A lot of times, I go through this with everybody. You may go through this yourself, and it's a big eye-opener. Everybody goes out to dinner, I'd say, for the most part, right? And everyone has their own opinions. I nipped it in the bud with my family members, friends, and everybody. Rich, what do you want? I'll always want Italian. They almost got mad at me. Well, you got to try something else. I go, that's all we do is try actually other things. Because we're in America. We don't eat Italian every day, by any means. Well, I don't want Italian all the time. I get it. I'm just telling you. I'm going out to dinner. I want Italian food. I don't have to have it. I'll go to any Italian restaurant. I don't care, okay? Then they're all heeing and hawing. So we got 4 or 5 people a lot of times, or you maybe even with your family, they're all, well, I want pizza. Well, I want Chinese today. No, I want Mexican. No, I don't want that. I want, burgers, whatever the case may be. I want to try a new restaurant. Okay, I get it to a certain degree. Everybody's kind of, but the thing is, a lot of times they're all, again, telling you what they don't want, is what I should say a lot of times. Like, all right, I don't want Italian. You know what, I'm not in the mood for Mexican. All right, I'm not in the mood for, whatever the case may be, whatever restaurant. After a while, just decide what you want. All right, we're not going to always agree, but tell me what you want. Then I'll know this time I can do yours, next time you do mine. It's that simple. But a lot of times no one can make a decision. It's whack. So, anyways, I'm going to wrap it up there, man. Just, again, please, if someone's helping you, I am going to wrap it up with this. If someone is out there helping you in any way, shape, or form, don't get me wrong, you can give them a little backstory about what you don't want in whatever you're doing. But get right to the fact of what you want to get accomplished. It will save you so much time and effort. Because I don't think a lot of people realize that, like, if you're in a position where you need help, and I've been there, and I'm almost too blunt, because when I want something, I'm just like, I want this. I don't care if I'm going to get tires. I want this, this, this. I don't want to hear about every goddamn tire you have known to man. I don't care about every sale. If you start living your life where you're pretty precise and not indecisive, it's a game changer. But I think people think by being precise or telling people what you want, you're coming off as an asshole or a bitch, or whatever the case may be. Who gives a shit? Get what you want, right? Stop getting things you don't want, and also quit being persuaded in doing things or buying things or whatever the case may be that you don't want. Because again, the mindset is, you're all over the place. Just get precise. All right? I'm going to wrap it up there. If you get a chance, check out my website, richcelenza.com. If you want to know anything about my program, it's masteringselfconfidence.com. I'm also on LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. All right? Take care, and I wish you nothing but the best.